الله جميعا وعلى سيدهم وخاتمهم حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. قال تعالى في كتابه الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم: وإما تعرضن عنهم ابتغاء رحمة ترجوها فقل لهم قولا ميسورا. صدق الله العلي العظيم. Tonight's subject is going to be about adabul ikhtilaf, the manners of disagreement, how we disagree. And how can I turn this off? Yeah. How we should disagree, in what manners. The manners of disagreement are mentioned in the Quran. When you disagree with someone, your wife, your son, your neighbor, your partner, your friend, how do you disagree? These manners and these etiquettes are mentioned in the Quran and the Hadith. God teaches us, the Prophet teaches us, Ahlul Bayt, they teach us how to disagree with each other. First of all, my friends, it's impossible in this life to find two people who are exactly identical in their opinions and their thoughts. Someone is teasing me, believe me. How do I turn it off? I'm using the timer because I need to use the timer. It's off, but still, yeah, no problem. Can I use your timer? Okay. So, it's the timer. I need the timer, yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yes, thank you. It's impossible to find two people who are identicals. Impossible. Why? Because we are human beings and we have been endowed with the freedom of thoughts, with the freedom of choice. We have been endowed with a brain, with reason, with aql. So definitely we differ over issues. A husband and wife, they can differ. Two brothers, a father and his son, two sisters, two friends, they differ in their opinions. Even if they agree 80%, there is another 20% room for difference of opinions. And this is the sunnah, the tradition of this life. God mentions in chapter 30th, Surah Al-Rum, verse 22, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ خَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَاخْتِلَافُ أَلْسِنَتِكُمْ وَأَلْوَانِكُمْ إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِلْعَالِمِينَ. Among your Lord's signs, the creation of heaven and earth, and the variation of your colors, of your tongues and your colors. So you are different. You people are different, not only in your culture, not only in your language. See how many languages we have here in this room now. Some people speak their native language is Urdu, some speak Pashtun, some speak Farsi, some speak Arabic, some speak Swahili, and other languages, and English and French. And so these are the signs of God's creation. اختلاف ألوانكم ألسنتكم وألوانكم. Your languages are different, your colors are different, and of course your opinions are different too. In another verse Allah says, وَمَا كَانَ النَّاسُ, Surah Yunus, chapter 10, وَمَا كَانَ النَّاسُ إِلَّا أُمَّةً وَاحِدَةً. At some point, people were exactly the same. Even in Europe, in their opinion, they were the same. There were no difference between them. No differences, no disagreements. But one was that. That was at the beginning of the creation. Life was not sophisticated. People were not advanced. They did not have knowledge. They did not go to school. So they believed in the same idea. But then that was before the time of Noah. Life was very primitive, very basic. Even human reason and human brain was very simple. But once they started to advance, the more knowledge you get, the better opinion you have. And then definitely you're going to be different from your sister, from your brother, from your husband, from your wife, from your neighbor. You develop your own ideas. Maybe in the past, you follow your father, you follow your teacher, you follow your older brother. But once you study yourself, you start discovering things, you develop your own ideas. So there is no harm in having different opinions. But where is the harm then? The harm when we fight, when we are intolerant towards each other, when we try to silence our adversaries, people who disagree with us. We try to shut them down, to silence them. They have no right to speak. They have no right to present their ideas because they are wrong and I am right. I'm always right and they are always wrong. This is the harm here. This is the bad thing here. So what are the manners of disagreement? Number one, when you disagree with any person, be it a friend, be it an enemy, be it someone in the family or someone outside the family, someone in your community or outside your community, someone from your faith, your madhab, your tradition, your school of thought, or someone who's an outsider. Try, and this is not easy, but we must try. Try not to demolish and destroy your adversary. Try not to demonize him. Try to not portray him as someone who's pure evil, nothing but evil, simply because he disagrees with you. So he doesn't deserve life. He should be destroyed completely. He has no room. He has no place in this life. Don't do that. Because your adversary is also a human being. And Islam teaches us that there is no absolute enemy in this life, neither there is an absolute friend. Imam Ali alayhi salam has a beautiful saying. He says, أحبب حبيبك هونا ما عسى أن يكون عدوك يوما ما. When you fall in love with your sweetheart, leave some room for parting one day. You may part with him. How oftentimes we see people, they fall in love. They fall in love. They are not separated from each other. But after a few months, few years, those two friends, those husband and wife, those two partners, they wage a war against each other. They can't even stand seeing each other. They can't. So it happens. Why? Because we are humans. We are not infallibles. We are not immune against disagreement. Neither we are immune against selfishness and egoism. We love ourselves at the end of the day. No matter how much you love your wife, but believe me, you love yourself more than your wife. No matter how much your wife tells you, I give my soul for you. She's right. Very right. But she loves herself more than you. We are not infallibles. So leave some room one day. Some people, they become friends. They give each other their secrets. Their entire secrets from A to Z. This is not right. This is not right. Today, this person is your friend. Tomorrow, he might turn against you. And he might use your secrets to damage you. وَأَبْغِضْ, on the other hand, Imam Ali says, when you have an enemy, loathe your enemy, dislike him to a certain limit, not absolute, not 100%, 80%, 70%. Leave some room. One day this enemy is going to be your friend. This enemy, one day, who knows? God says in this book, عسى الله أن يجعل بينكم وبين الذين عاديتم منهم مودة. God says to the Muslims that maybe one day now those pagans, Quraysh, who are fighting against you, who are your enemies, who knows? Asa, maybe one day there will be affection and love between you and them. You're going to have ceasefire. You're going to speak to each other. You're going to be friends. Asa. So leave some room. When you have an enemy, don't be harsh with that enemy. Do not completely demonize your enemy and say, I'm not going to talk to him for the rest of my life because he's sheer evil. He's Satan. No, he's not Satan. We are human beings. We are neither pure angels nor pure Satans. We are human beings. We are controlled by our emotions and sentiments. And we have hearts. And this heart, don't we say sometimes, Ya muqallib al-qulub wal-absar? The heart changes, keeps changing the heart. Even during one day, in the morning, the heart loves someone, he might end up in the evening hating that person. So leave some room. When it comes to love, leave some room. When it comes to hate, also leave some room for a friendship. This is number one. When we have a problem with others, we always try to defend ourselves. We want people to listen to our views. But sometimes we don't allow our adversary to present his or her views. We shut them down. We say, you have no right to speak. Don't listen to him, just listen to me. He's a liar, don't listen to him. No, let people listen to him. Let people listen to both sides. We have to allow even our enemies to express their opinion. This is freedom of expression in Islam. Where do we learn that? From whom we learned? From Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. He was caliph in Kufa. A man who didn't like Imam Ali. He didn't like him. He was jealous of him. He was jealous of Imam Ali. His name is Al-Ash'ath ibn Qais. When Imam Ali became the caliph, some of you have been to Kufa. You've seen the Grand Mosque in Kufa, Masjid al-Kufa. This was the center of Imam Ali's leadership and Khilafah. Masjid al-Kufa. It had a minaret. Now it has more than one minaret, I think 4 or 5. This man who refused to pay allegiance to Imam Ali, who refused to recognize him as a caliph, he launched his war against Imam Ali. Not from far. He built a minaret right opposite to Masjid al-Kufa, across the road. And if his minaret, at that time they did not have these podiums. No TV stations, no radio stations. So if you want to address people, you have to have a minaret. So he goes to the top of that minaret, which is not far from Masjid al-Kufa, from the headquarters of Islam. And he will demonize Imam Ali. He speaks ill about Imam Ali. He attacks Imam Ali. People came to Imam Ali, they said, let's shut him down. This wicked person, this munafiq, this hypocrite. Imam Ali said, no, leave him alone. Let him say what he wants to say. Freedom of expression. Freedom of expression. Don't shut him down. Let him speak his mind. We give him a freedom. His freedom is preserved under my government. Don't hurt him. Don't even harass him. Let him say what he wants to say. This is real democracy. This is real human rights. Imam Ali reached a point that dunya was very cheap. So even if people want to take the dunya away from him, he welcomed them. He does not feel insecure. The seat that he was using, the seat of Khilafah for him, was the cheapest thing. Nowadays, the seat of government and the presidency, people fight their siblings over it. People are ready to shed blood to preserve their seat, to stay in power. But when it comes to Imam Ali, it was the cheapest thing, the seat of Khilafah. He doesn't care about it. He doesn't feel insecure. So let people criticize him. So we learn this, that we allow people who disagree with us to present their ideas. Let them speak. Give them the chance to speak, to say. Don't shut them down. You grow bigger when you have the capacity of listening to people who criticize you, and you control your anger, you control your emotions. Then you are a good person. Then you are a mature person. Then you are a safe person. And we have to be just even with our enemies. I know with our friends, with our family members, with those who love us, we are just. We are fair to them. But this is not a big deal. When we become just with our enemies, Imam Ali alayhi salam says, أَعْدَلُ النَّاسِ, the most equitable person, the most just person, the most fair person, مَنْ أَنصَفَ مَنْ ظَلَمَهُ, he is good to those who wronged him. He's good to them. He's fair to them. He's just with them. They wronged him. They wronged him. They abused him. But he is just to them. Therefore, he would not attack them unfairly. Don't attribute to your enemy things that they don't have. If your enemy is only a thief, say he's a thief, but don't say he's a liar, don't say he's a dictator, don't say he's fulan and fulan and fulan. Don't. Say exactly what is in him, not more than that. But because we, unfortunately, we humans, we become emotional. So if someone hurts me and he does something small to me, I attribute all the wicked things to him. All the wicked things. I use the dictionary to find wherever there is a bad word, demeaning word, I use it against him. And this is not good. You know who's going to be hurt in this case? We. Not him, we. Those who attack are going to be hurt. Because they are not speaking the truth. Because they don't have tolerance for others. At the end of the day, they're going to damage themselves. They are not going to damage their enemies. We expect politicians to be virtuous. Politicians are not going to be virtuous, I'm telling you. We have to be virtuous, the citizens, especially the community of the believers. I don't get surprised if someone from the White House, he attacks Iran or this country and he says things and lies and he fabricates many accusations that are completely baseless. Completely baseless. But I don't get surprised because he's a politician. He wants to survive. But we are different. We are believers. We believe in the day of judgment. We believe there is a Lord listening and watching and seeing. ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. Anything we say, any sentence we utter, there are angels who are recording. And we have to be responsible. So be careful. When someone does something wrong to you, you have the right, and this is what this book says. لا يحب الله الجهر في السوء من القول إلا من ظلم. God does not want you to malign others, to attack others, unless you have been wronged by them. If someone wrongs you, go and say, defend yourself. Say, someone took my car, my money. I gave him loan, he didn't return it back. Someone did, but don't say more than that. Don't. Stop there. Control yourself. Anything you say is going to be recorded, and you are responsible for it. And last but not least, my friends, when we disagree with others, as I said, let's leave room to go back to each other. Because there is no absolute evil person. The only absolute evil in this life is Satan. That is the only absolute evil. Other than that, even criminals, mass murderers, they are not absolute evil. Still, every person, even the bad ones, they have some good things. Even the bad ones, they have good things. So let's remember the good. In the month of Ramadan, we learn that we focus on the bright side of the people, not the bad, not the dark side, the bright side. If you want to get closer to people, you have to teach yourself that people are good. Yes, he might did this and that wrong. He might violate it here or there. But on the other hand, let me remember his goodness, his contribution, his work. He also did many good things in this life. Let me conclude with this. The Prophet ﷺ says, ما اختلفت أمة بعد نبيها إلا ظهر أهل باطلها على أهل حقها. The Prophet says this is a general rule. Take it as a general rule. Whenever a nation, ummah, community, they differ after the departure of their prophet, after the departure of their messenger, their prophet, the community differ among themselves, then always those who are on the wrong side, they overcome those who are on the right side. Are you with me? When Musa alayhi salam left his community, the children of Israel, they were divided into two groups. Who won? Physically and materially, who won? Those who were on the wrong side, not those who were on the right side. And those who were on the wrong side were the majority. Those who were on the right side were the small minority. Same thing with Isa alayhi salam, Christianity. The majority of them, 90% of them, after the departure of Jesus, they turned against him. Only 10% of them, they remained solid on the path of Jesus, which is the path of monotheism and tawheed and the unity of God. And the same, my friends, with Islam. After the departure of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet says this is a general rule. Always, the majority who are on the wrong side, they win over the minority who are always on the right side. A person comes to Imam al-Sadiq and he says, Ya ibn Rasulullah, then what does it mean when God says disagreement is good? اختلاف أمتي رحمة. The Prophet says, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, اختلاف أمتي رحمة. The disagreement of my community among themselves is mercy and a blessing. Imam al-Sadiq said, you misunderstood the hadith. Ikhtilaf here does not mean disagreement. If you open the Arabic dictionary and you search for اختلف, the source of اختلاف, disagreement, it has many meanings. One of them is disagreement, but the other one is what? Visiting a place frequently. When we say اختلف إلى المسجد, someone اختلف to the mosque. Here it means he visits the mosques frequently, always. He comes every day, maybe twice a day. اختلف إلى المسجد. So Imam al-Sadiq says, this verb here, اختلاف أمتي رحمة, it does not mean when they fight among themselves. Because if they, Imam al-Sadiq said, إذا كان اختلافهم رحمة فاجتماعهم عذاب. If their disagreement is mercy, then it means their unity is a curse. So can you imagine the unity of the ummah is a curse? No, it's not a curse. So disagree, it does not mean disagreement here. It means, Imam al-Sadiq reads this verse, فلولا نفر من كل فرقة منهم طائفة ليتفقهوا في الدين وَلِيُنذِرُوا قَوْمَهُمْ إِذَا رَجَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَحْذَرُونَ. God says to the Muslims, I want each and every village, each and every city to send some of their young ones to the Prophet to go to Medina and study under the Prophet, learn from him, and they go back to their communities, to their villages, to their people to preach what they learned from the Prophet. يختلفوا إلى رسول الله. They come and visit the Prophet frequently. This is the meaning of اختلاف. Does not mean disagreement. How can disagreement be a mercy? Imagine if we disagree now and we start fighting. Is this a mercy? What sort of mercy is this? It's not a mercy. Now Muslims are fighting each other. Is it a mercy now? When they fight each other? By the way, Muslims, when it comes to each other, they use weapons against each other, to kill each other, to fight each other. But when it comes to Israel, they use dua, only dua. They want to destroy Israel with dua. Have you seen this? So, these are the manners of disagreement. We have to tolerate people that we disagree with them. Only at that point we become real believers, real observants. Because religion, my friends, is not the thirst and the hunger that you experience in the month of Ramadan. It is what you learn from this hunger and thirst, what you get out of this hunger and thirst. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات تابع اللهم بيننا وبينهم بالخيرات إنك مجيب الدعوات إنك غافر الخطيئات. اللهم كن لوليك الحجة ابن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرضك طوعا وتمتعه فيها طويلا واجعلنا اللهم من أنصاره وأعوانه. تقبل منا صلاتنا وصيامنا ودعاءنا وإلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات والشهداء ثواب الفاتحة مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد